Awesome. Okay, we're going to get started. Welcome to Root University
rapide.
Science
Toch,
Call.
tinhas
Lekker,
que
Tony
ser
Show.
dois, sim.
Hold on.
Curcumin zout definitely.
No, maar dit zou
I am going to mute everyone. All right, we're good now. Sorry about that.
Awesome. First of all, I want to start by saying, we can't claim to cure anything at Root. I can't claim to cure anything. I always say this, there's one person in the world or one entity, and it's much higher than me, that's able to heal everyone. But I will say this, our intentions in what we do are to solve world problems all over the world. Today, we're going to do educational material. It's not for medical advice or substitute for medical advice for physicians or other qualified healthcare professionals. You should not use this information in diagnosing a health or fitness problem or disease, and you should always consult with doctors or other healthcare professionals for medical device or information about diagnosis and treatment. But I want to stop right here, and I want to say to you guys, we're getting a lot of messages from people that have cancer. Our products have helped people that have been on chemotherapy and radiation with either side effects or their treatment. Every case has been different. We've been able to help people that chose not to do chemotherapy and radiation, but we can't give healthcare advice because of the fact of the laws and what we have to be careful with. And because I've made these products, I especially have to be careful. That does not mean I don't care. Every single time I get a message from you guys, I want you to know this, with a family member or someone that has a problem, I stop right then. And I pray and I meditate and I think of positive things that can hopefully help you all, because I believe in the power of energy. I believe in all of us working together to heal each other. Even though I'm not allowed to give healthcare advice, I do sometimes look at certain papers and try to help guide you guys. But I always say you need to also talk to your medical doctor, because I have to say that legally. And it's the right thing to say, because unless I have all the information, it's really hard to make a judgment call. But I want you guys to know that I do care, and that I never get a message where I don't stop and think about that person. And then the rest of our team, if they get the message, they share it with me, and we all care. So I want you to know that Root is not just a company that provides supplements and helps people with different issues pertaining to their health. We are a company that emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, we want to support people all over the world. This community is so amazing because of you all. This community is so amazing because of what we all do together. And so the positive energy and the positive thought process and everything we're doing is as important to me as even my science medical education. And I want to thank everyone on this call for everything you do. And I want to tell you all that I do care when I get those messages. So I want you all to hear that personally from me. We're going to talk today about cold and flu season. We've talked about this a little bit before. We've gone through it before in different calls. I'm traveling all over the world right now. I just got back from New Delhi in India, where we're working at opening India so we can provide better health products there as well. And then I went to Venice and Milan. What you didn't see on social media is that I was actually I ate something that made me sick, and then I got in something in one of the countries that I had bites all over my body. That's what you didn't see. And I'm telling you guys this because when you see the social media that we show and the press releases, it looks like everything's positive. The truth is, Ted Baker and I didn't sleep for 3 days because we went, a whole day over to India, and then we landed at 1:20 in the morning, and then we had to work through the day and didn't get back to our rooms until almost the next day, or after the next day actually, and kept working. And I'm sharing this with you because our lives look glamorous, but when we travel, they actually aren't. We do get to meet amazing people. So when I went from New Delhi to Milan and to Venice, I got to work with some pretty important influencers and pretty important people in the fashion industry as well as in the government. And then I got to go to Romania, which was It was hard too, because we had so many meetings, but it was really wonderful. And we realized in Romania that the approach we need to take in each country is to attack the country from a positive perspective, from the top down and down up. And what I mean by that is we have to approach the influencers in the government and work with the top people. We also need to, at the same time, work with the people in the country that are normal people. And when I say normal, I mean the people that really compose the country, right? So we're doing both. So I appreciate your patience with us as you see us doing things like television interviews or meeting at Parliament, but at the same time going to a meeting where we have 120 to 180 people present in a small village in Romania. You know, there's a lot of great things that happen there, and I want to thank everyone involved in that. Gertie was extremely instrumental, and Michael Burgess, at making that trip fantastic for us. But Maria was also instrumental, and Erica West, in making some of the things happen as well. So we will be back in Romania in January around Davos, and we will also be back in Switzerland and in Germany in January. So I just wanted to let you guys know, cold and flu season is at the top of my mind because I am traveling everywhere. And so when I get on a plane and I'm on a plane for 23 hours, or I land in a country and I haven't slept, these products are so important to me, because in order for me to keep going and keep growing our brand and keep helping people with our supplements, I have to take care of my own body as well. I say this all the time. Being on the root products doesn't mean you'll never get sick. Being on the root products helps provide barriers and barricades so that you can keep the bad things out, and you can get rid of the bad things inside of the body and really keep this positive energy and positive machine, which is your body, working. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What should we do during cold and flu season, and why should we do it? That's our topic today. So I want to talk about the cold and flu. You know, they're different. The common flu is contagious, and I know you guys know that. It is in the upper respiratory tract, and you have inflammation and mucus in your throat and your eyes, and everything seems inflamed because it is, right? And that's difficult to manage, but actually it's not as threatening as flu or influenza. And flu and influenza are caused by viruses, right? There's so many viruses around us that people need to understand that these viruses really can impact not just our respiratory system, but our GI system and our heart. It's all connected. So it's more of a serious thing when you get the flu. However, you can feel about the same when you have both. Sometimes you get very confused about whether you have the flu or you have a common cold. It used to be that the flu was all we talked about. Now we talk more about the pandemic and everything else, which is still the flu, still a virus, right? So we're going to get into some of that today, because I said to you guys before, we can go to the next slide. When you go to cold and flu symptoms and what happens, they're different, right? But they're very similar. So if you look at this, when you have a cold, you usually don't have a fever, although sometimes you can. And let me explain that. So when people get a cold or a virus, they can also get a bacteria or fungus or parasites. We call those comorbidities or co-symptoms or dual diagnosis. So a lot of times you'll go to the doctor and they give you a diagnosis of a cold or a diagnosis of a virus, but they overlook that there may be an underlying issue as well, such as heavy metals in the body or pollution, or such as parasites and fungus, right? So there's all these underlying things, and that's why every person, it's not just your DNA, but it's that every person's different in how you can manage those things. And your body can have more than one thing going on at the same time, which is why I think our products are extremely influential, because they're helping take care of the body in a lot of ways. So whether you have the cold or the flu, they're really helping with those things. I want you guys to look, though, if you look at the fever, the onset, the aches, the headache, the chills, the stuffy nose, sore throat, cough, tiredness, you'll see that under the viruses or the flu, that you get those more, right? Which means it's more intense. Under a cold, it's kind of slightly there, or it's rare. It doesn't have as many side effects. But again, you could have a cold, and then at the same time, you could develop a sinus infection, which makes that cold worse, because a sinus infection is usually from bacteria, right? So I want you guys to know that just because a doctor says, well, you just have a cold, doesn't mean it can't turn into something that's really bad, and you really do have to take care of your body. And I also want to tell you guys, the thing I worry about the most when people have the flu is the shortness of breath. I really worry about that. And I do want to say this, that it can last up to 3 weeks and sometimes longer. You know, we have long COVID, for example. So you've really got to take care of your body by sleeping and taking care of yourself by getting the right fluids. And a lot of times with our products, you need to take more of our products if you have the cold or flu or some kind of diagnosis, because your body needs extra energy, extra protection, extra influence on the positive for the immune system. And that's really important. I want you guys to know that. So if your kids have anything, a lot of times if they're taking, you know, one Restore a day, they maybe need more than one Restore, because their body's really fighting something. So another thing that we talk about a lot is COVID-19. We know that it's a disease and it's caused by the SARS-CoV-2. We also know that it's been around since the 1600s. You guys know that it's mutated, and now they have a current round going, another mutation going through, and I'm sure they'll have 2 or 3 more mutations through January and February, because the virus is completely changing. And the reason the virus changes is, again, is it's trying to take over the host, right? And it's trying to go from one host, which is like one body, to another body and spread as quickly as it can. If you have things in your body that can fight the virus and you can get over it quickly, because right now I'm hearing that it is, people are getting over it quicker, especially people that are on the root products, your system upgrades. So what I mean by that is, even though it's frustrating to get a virus, you're still able to really improve your body from that virus if you take the right steps. And those steps are taking care of yourself during the exposure, limiting exposure to other people. And I want to say that when people are sick in the office, I say, please don't come into the office because I don't want everyone in our office sick. So you do need to pay attention and make sure you're taking care of not just yourself, but other people. And during that 2 to 14 days, which again can extend to 3 weeks and sometimes longer, you've really got to make sure you're giving your body the essential things that it needs to fight that virus, so you can win the battle against the virus and upgrade your system. So people ask me a lot, what are the risk factors for viral infections and different things that happen? And the truth is, I'll give you an example. Traveling is a risk factor. Not sleeping is a risk factor. Not drinking enough water is a risk factor, but also high-risk people or people that have like chronic diseases like heart disease or kidney disease or diabetes or obesity or HIV and AIDS and things like that. Also, of course, lung disorders are really not good for people that get viruses. It can make it really hard. So you've really got to support that area of your body. And we're going to talk about today how you do that. Not having the right minerals and nutrients are very bad in this situation. You've got to have the things in your body that can fight viruses and viral particles. And not just that, when you get a virus, then you can get a bacterial infection, a fungal infection, the parasites breed, things can get worse all over. So you've really got to support that immune system. And that's what's so amazing about Root. We now have products on the inside of our bodies that are fighting it. And we're getting ready to have in October even more products for the outside of our body, because this is not just a one punch. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 punch. That's how you fight things. That's how you beat things. And it is not a every once in a while battle. It's a daily battle to really support your immune system. And it's very important that we do that, because you can take a common cold virus and turn it into a full-fledged flu, as well as, again, bacterial and fungal infections. So you've really got to support your body. And we know that now. We know that when all of this happened in our world, that it wasn't a one-time thing, that it was something that we were going to have to fight, and we could be stronger and we can be confident because of the different products that we have. Root is a solution, in my opinion, to a lot of things that are happening in the world because of the fact that it's really bolstering that immune system. We make products that are bioavailable. That's something that's really important to me, that the products that you take into your body work and they go throughout your system and they're able to support the whole system. That's extremely important. And today, I'm going to talk about more than the Trinity, and I want to explain why. Relive Greens is such a natural part of my life and such an important step in my life. If I don't take Relive Greens, I have a lot of issues. Immune Defense Shield, I keep running out of Immune Defense Shield. We ran out of Relive Greens while we were traveling again. And I've got to tell you, those two products for me during this season are extremely important. Yes, I take Restore every day. Yes, I take Clean Slate. And yes, I take Zero In. Zero In is a must for me because I have to have energy. It doesn't work for me not to take it. It's a very important step for my life so that I can go from India, that's 10.5 hours from my home, 10.5 hour time change, to Milan and Venice, which is 7, and then to Romania, which is 7 to 8, depending on where I am, in Austria, right? That was my last trip. I'm changing time zones completely, not sleeping. My immune system has to be strong. So I double down. And if I run out of Relive Greens and Immune Defense Shield, I have a problem. And if you don't have your basic vitamins and minerals, like what we have in natural barrier support during this season, then you can run into an even bigger problem. So we're going to talk about these solutions today to worldwide problems. This is not something we can hide in the sand. We can't get rid of pollution. We can't get rid of heavy metal overnight in our world. We can't get rid of 5G that now may become 10G. None of those things are really good for us. They may be good so our phones work. They may be good so we have clothing or we have cars, but they're not good for our bodies. So we've really got to lower the inflammation in our bodies and protect our immune system and make it stronger so it can fight things. It's really important. Anyone that knows me knows that the black cumin seed oil, the resveratrol, the turmeric curcumin, raspberry, apple cider vinegar, aloe vera, D-ribose are my mainstays. And what I mean by that is I've worked on a lot of different products with these key ingredients. And I think Restore is the best product that I've worked on that has these in them, because I worked nonstop to try to put into one packet something that could last up to 3 days. And what I mean by that is it's so strong and it's so potent that a lot of people will take one packet and divide it into 3 days, so that they put it in the refrigerator. They do 1/3, then 1/3, and 1/3. However, certain people that have autoimmune disorders and diabetes and cancer and other types of diseases, they take 3 full packets a day, right? Trying to get better, trying to be stronger. Sometimes they put it on their skin, like me when I have cancer. When I have cancer, I put it on my skin with Clean Slate. It's something that's a daily staple. And if I don't do it, the cancer comes back. So it's not something that I can run away from. It's something that I really need. This is a very important product if you're looking at antioxidants and you're looking at supporting the immune system and lowering the inflammation. Of course, it's not just used during flu season or for a cold. This is something that I take every day. I sometimes take it as a meal replacement. So instead of eating breakfast or lunch, I'll take this during the day. And I know Patrick and Ted and Clayton, all of us are the same. We're always passing it around when we travel because we know how important it is to us. So let's talk about what the benefits are of Restore and why it is so important. When you put things into your body like resveratrol and black cumin seed and turmeric curcumin and aloe vera, you're assisting the body in destroying mold, fungus, and parasites. Parasites breed in the fungus. You want to try to kill things that shouldn't be in your body. You do not want them to overtake your body. You need to be in control of your body. This is your life. You're a queen or king of your body, and you deserve to give your body what it really needs to be supported. The benefits of the ingredients in Restore reduce systemic inflammation, and that's important because inflammation can happen throughout the body. So, for example, some of you guys will get the cold or a flu and your elbow hurts, right? Or your foot hurts, and that's because the whole body is inflamed. So you've really got to take a product like Restore that can really help the inflammation throughout the body. and get rid of it. You want to rebuild the gut, because anytime you're sick, your stomach is having a hard time functioning as well as your brain. So you've really got to support this so that everything goes into equilibrium. And you got to make sure that you have something that has antiviral properties or antibacterial properties, as well as antifungal, right? And that's why the key ingredients in this product is so important. There's lots of NIH articles on how this helps fight different things like this and how it rebuilds the system and strengthens the immune system, which is extremely imperative. And again, flu season's not going to go away. The cold season's not going to go away. What's happening in our world is not going to change overnight. We can't take down all the 5G towers. We can't take down the fact that people have had things put inside their body that they need help getting rid of. And so that's why these products are extremely important to really support people's body. I want to talk about black cumin seed, which is Nigella sativa, and the different benefits that it has. And I want to point to a study that I think is important for you guys to look at. So we, again, can't promise that we're doing anything, but what we can show you guys is to educate you on the ingredients that we have in the products that are bioavailable and made in a particular way to really work throughout the body. And one of those key ingredients is black cumin seed, which is Nigella sativa, and it's known for doing everything from cutting off cancer cell communication to really helping with different things like COVID. So this article talks about COVID prevention. It is from NIH. It's all over the different research channels if you really look into it. And it talks about rats and guinea pigs and how black cumin seed really using the compounds, and it's really thymoquinone that's really helping, that's really basically having an antihistamine effect. And what that means is it's really, again, lowering the signaling so the inflammation is not there. And so the viral particles can't communicate. You got to cut off that communication. And this is an important step to do it. It also has potential properties for human T cells in vitro, which means it can really inhibit, again, any of this communication or any of the transference of growing a virus, which is really important. So like when I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, we talked a lot about regulatory factor 3 activation, kinase 1, and how all of that plays into either cancer or autoimmune disorders. Because another thing I want you guys to remember is that when you get a virus, yes, you want to start feeling better, but at the same time, you don't want to activate anything in your DNA that's going to cause problems later for autoimmune disorders or cancer or cardiovascular. You want to cut off that communication so there's only positive communication occurring. And that's one of the things that happens in a response in the body when you use things like black cumin seed. It's cutting off the negative inflammatory response. It's picking up the phone basically, and those positive cells are rebuilding and getting stronger. And that's what's so important. One of my favorite products in the world, one of my favorite ingredients to work with because I know how much it helps people. Another thing that's really important is curcumin. You guys know we have this in all of our products or a lot of our products because curcumin is so important. It can reduce actually the replication in lungs for viruses, as well as certain people that have had like COPD and different types of disorders for their lungs. They've been able to use different types of IVs as well as oral when it comes to curcumin, which have been able to help in animal models. And now they're looking at it in a lot of human growth models, as well as pharmaceutical and biotech. We use it naturally here. It can be put on your skin. It goes into the skin and into the body, but also taking it in restore or zero in is extremely important because it helps the overall body. It helps your overall body, and it can actually reduce, again, diseases, and it can induce something which causes the viruses to stop. And that's what everyone needs to remember. In one study, mice infected with one of the strains were able to take the curcumin, and it increased their survival. So people ask me all the time, why we have more than one product, curcumin. First of all, the Alzheimer's Association and Parkinson's Associations recommend curcumin for your brain. We also know that it's used by a lot of cancer associations to stop the cancer signaling. So that's why we're using it. We know that it helps with weight loss. And so people that take turmeric curcumin actually usually lose weight. which helps the immune system work better if you are overweight, because you don't want to be obese and have to deal with all these things. You need to be at a healthy weight. And we also know that it helps with the lung tissue. So it's extremely important that this product is used during a time like this, and that you guys use enough of it so you're supporting your body. And again, everybody's body's different. But if you're not using this and getting your body what it needs, and your body is going to be under even more attack from different things that are all around you. So that's why when we travel, we carry a lot of this with us so that we make sure we take it, whether we're on a plane or whether we land somewhere. It also gives us energy because of what's in this particular product called Restore. Now I want to talk a little bit about the flagship product that we all know has helped people all over the world, and that's Clean Slate. You know, I've worked on a lot of zeolite and silica products, and many of you guys know I started with the zeolite and then pulled out the silica dioxide, and the vitamin C and trace minerals were integrated into the formula so that it could communicate throughout the body. This is not an easy formula to make. We are trying again to get the first flagship product that doesn't have all the trace minerals in it for the community, so you can use it more in your eyes. You can use this product in your eyes, by the way, but you've got to put saline in it, or in your ears, but you've got to add saline because it's too strong to be put in directly into those places unless you're adding the saline. And a lot of you guys are asking me those questions, so I want to make sure that I'm communicating. You can swish this in your mouth. Another thing that happens when you get viruses is the fungal level goes up, like we've talked about. So you get these sores in your mouth, and those aren't good for you either, because those sores that you get on your tongue and your lips and your mouth actually let more bacteria and viruses and fungus and parasites in. So you want to swish it or put it on there so that you make sure that you're helping your body fight all of these things and strengthen and protect your immune system. It's extremely important. Another thing that I don't want to go without saying is, you know, a lot of people have asked me about skin defense because it has actually a portion of Clean Slate in it. And so does Environ. And they asked me why I put that for the skin and for the body protection. There's a lot of other ingredients in it as well. I'm extremely concerned about 5G. I'm extremely concerned about all the things that have happened over the last 3 years. And the goal is to rid the body of these things while we're protecting. You need to protect the outside of your body while you're protecting the inside of your body. They both go together. They're both very important. So with Clean Slate, one of the things that I really focused on with this particular formulation was making sure at the same time it's pulling all those bad things out of your body that should not be there from pollution and from the environment and heavy metals, and then supporting the body to have the nutrients and minerals it needs while it's doing it. This was a concern for me because I saw so many products out there that I did not feel like they were replenishing the body at the same time. And that's why this particular formula is so well known and used throughout the world. I want to talk about the benefits as well. So we talked about the removal of toxins and heavy metals from the entire body. That's huge. I'm just going to stop right there. And if you ask me, how important is that? It's hugely important. If your body is full of toxins and heavy metals, you can't function appropriately. And this is something that we can't run away from. The pollution's in the environment, in the land, air, and water. The heavy metals are all around us. The 5G is all around us. And so you have to take this product to really help get it out. That's my opinion as a scientist, but it is my product. I think it's one of the most important products in my life because I've had cancer and Lyme disease. So it's one of the things that really helps me the most. And I'm just saying that with honesty. I worry a lot. I don't talk to you guys about this enough. I worry about our environment. I worry about our world. And this is a product that's really able to help people. Many of you guys that know me know that sometimes when I start getting sick from Lyme disease or when I start having issues, I'll drink half a bottle because I know I need to get better. And it's so important for me. If I have any kind of sores on my body, it's like when I got the bites, when I was traveling, I put Skin Defense and I put Clean Slate on it and Restore to try to get rid of anything that's trying to go in my body. I don't trust bug bites. And let me explain why. I was part of some research where we used different types of insects to be able to transmit different things in other countries. And that was a very huge concern of mine. I was a lot younger than I am now. And so it hit me. Well, if we're doing this and other countries are doing this, and how is that impacting a general population all over the world? And the answer is it does affect you when something bites you. when you're bit by an insect or a flea or a mosquito or a fly, a lot of times they're laying eggs in your body or they're vomiting into your body, and none of that's good, right? So you need to make sure that you're always fighting that on the outside as well as on the inside. And I want to say this because I don't know that I've publicly said it before. That's something that's very important. So if Patrick gets bit by something, he needs to immediately treat it. And because of what's happening in our environment and even our whole weather system, right? We're having huge storms, we're having huge issues, and it's because of the pollution, the heavy metals, all the things that have impacted us. If you get a scrape or you get something now, you guys have got to put things on it like skin defense or clean slate and stuff like Restore, because you're fighting that bacteria on the outside. And if you don't touch that on the outside, it's going to go on the inside, and that's going to happen more and more. You guys are going to see that happening more and more around the world. Another thing you're going to see happening is people having issues with their eyesight, because again, your energy levels with 5G and all the heavy metals impact that. So what can we do? What we can do is put these good things inside our bodies and on the outside so that we're protecting ourselves, and then we can share the message so that we can help other people. And that's our obligation. I've said this before, the more you know about something, the more you are obligated to teach other people so that you can help them. The benefits of Clean Slate also historically and through the NIH and PubMed community and your scientific communities are antibacterial and antiviral. You know, in Romania, I met with a lot of doctors. When we went to Parliament, I met with the medical students. We talked about this. They were very familiar with different types of silicas, different types of orthosilic acids and zeolites and different things that help people. And it was really important that I expressed to them how our product is different. And I believe our product's different because I think that we have more bioavailable availability into the body to work stronger. I think we have more of an ability of a product that can communicate and cause efficacy and safety. And that's why it's so important. But I want to stress this again. Just because you take Clean Slate on the inside of your body doesn't mean you don't have to sometimes use it on the outside. So again, if Patrick Moen gets a scrape or gets a scar or gets something, he should be putting Clean Slate and skin defense on it, as well as things like Restore, because you're going to see this more and more throughout the world. When people get things like a scrape or a bite, they get infected more. And it's because our immune systems are under attack more. So you guys have got to sometimes double down on this and make sure that you're treating your bodies the right way, right? Like I'm going to use another example. If someone has autism and you're taking our products and you're following the autism protocol, because now we have protocols on everything that we're pushing out, and you guys are going to see this all over the place. And I think you'll be happy that we have these protocols, but protocols change because everybody's body's different. So if you're on a protocol for autism where you're taking Clean Slate and you're taking Restore and you're taking Zero in, that doesn't mean you still don't get the flu or a cold or bacteria. So you've got to remember to put all this information out there, because there's a time and place to use different products, and there's a time and place to use more products. So like I said, just because you do a standard treatment doesn't mean when you get sick, you should ignore that you've got to take more of the product and also add different products. And I want to make sure that I'm talking to you guys about that so that we can protect our bodies and protect more people throughout the world. Another thing that happens is we assist in the reduction of negative inflammation with Clean Slate. And that's really important. There's good and bad inflammation, and most of it's bad if it lasts for a prolonged period. It also supports the nutrients by removing toxins that block the nutrient binding sites. That's hugely important. People all over the world are taking nutritional products, but if you have toxins and heavy metals, it's blocking it. So you're not even able to get the nutrients. Like I hear people say to me, I never can get enough vitamin D. A, you probably have an autoimmune disorder. B, you probably have something wrong with your microbiome. 3, you probably have problems in your nutrient binding site. And even if you're on Clean Slate, that doesn't mean you've already removed all of it. It's something you need to do on a daily basis and really help your body do it continuously to be the best you can be. Same with anti-aging. People ask me all the time, not that I look great or anything, but they ask me, what do you do with your skin, or what do you do with your body because you're getting older? And I'm like, yes, I know I am. But I take these products and I really give my body what it needs, understanding that, again, it's not a monthly thing, it's a daily thing to take care of your body. The digestion and gut health is extremely important. We've been able to really help a lot of people that with the combination of Clean Slate, Relive, and Restore. And I want to make sure that we bring that out to the forefront because it is very important. We are going to talk about vitamin C. I know I saw some comments. It's hard for me to talk and see the comments at the same time, even when I try. So let me talk to you guys about vitamin C. Not all vitamin C is the same. I did a series of patent pending technologies around vitamins and trace minerals on how they're delivered into the system and how they're formulated in a lab. There's some vitamin C that I would tell you is not even good for you because it has so much heavy metals attached. We have a very specific kind of vitamin C that's bioavailable through Clean Slate. And it's made in a formulation where it's really able to communicate throughout the body in a positive way. And this is a study that I think Tiger pulled that I've actually talked to you guys about it a couple of times, but I want to talk about it again. Extra doses of vitamin C are really important. That's another reason why, natural barrier support is important. They lowered the need for vitamin C during COVID in so many countries. And if you ask me why, I don't understand it at all, because people needed more vitamin C. So it didn't make sense to me. But as a scientist that's worked on a lot of autoimmune disorders and diseases and cancer and illnesses, I want to tell you guys how important vitamin C is. So you really need to make sure that you pay attention to this meta-analysis because it's over 9 randomized controlled trials. So 9. And it's showing that basically with vitamin C, it shortens the time that you're sick, even pain, fever, chills. This is a fact. You see it in all the NIH articles and the research articles throughout the parliaments and throughout the countries. We know this. And we also understand that more than 1 gram a day of vitamin C shortens the duration of colds in adults by 8% and children by 18%. And if you use vitamin D and zinc along with that, it does even more. So that's why it's important that we have vitamin C, and it's made in the way that I made it in the product. So it's delivered safely through the body and it's able to go throughout the system and work. Vitamin C and the trace minerals were used in Clean Slate, for, just so you guys know, also as catalyst, so that it would go into the system and be more bioavailable. It had more than one purpose in this particular product, and it was made in a specific type of way. So it would be delivered. And it's partially hydrolyzed so that it can go where it needs to go with the stomach, with the heart, and with the brain. I also want to talk to you guys about the bioavailable silica. Can't talk. Silica, this has been something we've been scrutinized with because, we're not a zeolite. Yes, we came from a zeolite, but I was able to basically take the bioavailable silica, and silica is not always positive. I just want you guys to know. Silica can be negative, zeolites can be negative, clino can be negative. It's how it's made. One of the things I say all the time is we are scrutinized more than anything for Clean Slate because this product works so phenomenally that everyone wants to compare or take over this product, right? You guys should feel very proud of the fact that you have something that's helping people all over the world. And if you look at how it's done, it's actually helping with different things that have to do with the viruses inside the body by, again, cutting off the ability the body has to communicate that virus, to replicate. See, with the virus, it's not the fact that you get the virus. It's how the virus grows that's such a problem. And being able to use certain types of nanoparticles to stop that is extremely important. If you look throughout history and you look at different things, whether it is herpes, because I know that's on this slide, or any kind of sexually transmitted disease, let me say that. Okay, sexually transmitted diseases are really hard to treat. It's one of the fastest growing issues we have in our world right now, which is why you're going to see me talk more and more about sex so I can educate people. Sex is not a bad word, but the fact of how we deal with it can cause a lot of harm to our bodies. People worry about a 6-foot difference in a virus. What you need to worry about is the person that you're close to every day, or the person you meet at night and you have sex with the next day. It's really important that you understand that things are transmitted very easily. Clino is, and certain types of silica, like the silica that I made in this particular formula, are able to actually stop those SAs from growing. And that's extremely important. Micronized silica at a certain range make it even better. If you ask me the range of silica that is in this particular product, it varies. If you ask me why it varies, it's because I was trying to reach different areas of the body and to be able to have it used throughout the body in different ways. And that's why there's a variation in it. And that's why if you look at the patents that I filed, you'll see the variation, because I did not want it to just be an exact number. I wanted to have a range where it was hitting so that it would be able to really stop certain things like viral particles. Again, this study talks about the concentration level of 12, 25, and 50 milligrams of clino zeolites that are induced, but our formula is different because we pulled out the silica. And so there's a different number for every single person, and that's because everybody's DNA is handling this differently, as well as everybody's body handles viruses differently. What we do know is that Clean Slate has been almost a silver bullet in so many different areas of autoimmune disorders, diseases, cognitive functioning, because again, it's helping that body remove the trash that should not be in there. You can't do anti-aging. You can't talk to me as a scientist about different types of solution unless you're also trying to take the trash out of the body at the same time, because otherwise you're just covering up so many things that are going on. This is an extremely important part of trying to help your body. And I'm really passionate about it. I probably should, I could say a lot more, but I always assume I'm recorded, and I have to be careful about the different countries that I work in. I will say this to you all. We are now helping people that are in very prominent positions in politics as well as in business all over the world. And that's why you see a lot of pictures of us doing different things everywhere, because of this product, because it has been able to help everyone. Another hero product that I think is extremely important is Zero In. I don't know, Patrick, how often do you take Zero In? Because I take it every day.
And I take two before I go to jujitsu class in the evening, because I usually go after work. And so I'll take two just so I'm focused for jujitsu.
Yeah, I can't travel the way I travel. I don't, for me, it's really important that I never take anything that's addictive, and this isn't. This is a product that if you don't take it, the only thing I notice when I don't take it is that I can't concentrate as much and I don't have as much energy, which for me, with the travel and what I do for a living and how I'm here to support you all in the root community, it's very important that this product is something that I take every day. I take it in the morning, and sometimes I take a second one at lunch now if I'm really tired. It has vitamin D, and of course it has the caffeine from the green, the green tea, and it has basically the proprietary brain blend, which has the L-tyrosine, L-theanine, but it also has some other things that are really supporting the body, like velvet bean, pine bark, and turmeric root. So again, here we come back in, right, with the turmeric. And that's because turmeric here is used with the microdosing of these other ingredients. These ingredients really help with the mental clarity for so many people throughout the world. They also help with the sexual performance and the physical performance. And I'm going to go back to this. People laugh when I say sexual performance, and I'm like, what's so funny about that? Sexual performance is so important in our lives. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to be healthy. And this is a daily part of our lives, right? So for me, it was so important that we were able to help women and men all over the world with a product that could really benefit them in all areas. And Zero In is doing that. But what we don't talk about enough is Zero In's effectiveness against different things like viruses, bacteria, parasites, and fungus. So let's talk about that. Because we're always talking about how it makes us perform better, but let's talk about the benefits overall of Zero In. So when you look at the key ingredients in Zero In, those ingredients are targeted at not just cognitive functioning, but also regenerating the microbiome. because that's something that's really important. So you're taking this and you're thinking, what's happening with my neurotransmitters here and here? But you guys need to understand that it's also helping regenerate the microbiome, and that's extremely important. It's aiding the immune response, so it's quicker, faster, performing better. So while you're performing better, your immune system starts performing better. And that's what's so amazing. And I think you guys have got to tell people that so they know what's happening. When you get people zero in, tell them how it's helping their performance sexually, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Also tell them how it's helping protect their body and improve their immune system, because we're not telling people that enough. And we've got to make sure we tell people that enough. It's helping you with sleep. It's helping with the circadian rhythm. A side note to that, circadian rhythm, if you guys can go to bed when it's dark and get up when the light starts coming up, that's your best to do a circadian rhythm. However, if you have a life like ours at Root, at corporate, we can't always do that. So this helps us put our circadian rhythm back in place. And again, that's really important. That's important for anti-aging. That's important for your autoimmune system and for disorders and diseases. So that's an important factor. It also increases the endocrine functioning, which is really important to your overall life and your sexual health, which again is extremely important to your overall life as well. So increasing serotonin and dopamine, we talk about this a lot. I don't talk enough about norepinephrine and some of the other transmitters that we're also impacting, by the way, with this particular formula, because we're supporting those so that they're working in a more concise and better way. This report that's from a journal, I've read a lot of these, by the way, that have to do with the antidepressants. We know now that it actually is helping some people that have had COVID. They actually prescribed this during COVID because they were able to find out that the people that were on things like fluoxetine, which I've worked on in my past career, they were doing better. They were doing much better as far as mortality when it came to COVID, which is amazing. So if you have an increase from 8% to 28%, you're doing something really great, right? And so this is something we have not talked about enough when it comes to zero in. We talk about performance with zero in. Again, sexual, physical performance. We're not talking enough about the fact that this also can help with things like viruses and bacteria. And I wanted to bring this up today so you guys can make sure that you're educating people on that and that we get the word out on that. And if I need to do a full session on that and you guys want me to, I will. Also, I saw a question about the protocols. The protocols are being rolled out to the doctor-to-doctor group now. And then if you guys want, I can do the next Root U on the protocols. We have those ready to go out. The protocols that go to the doctors go along with the case studies and the literature reviews and the white papers. With you all, we're going to basically support those protocols with me talking a little bit about some of the case studies, not giving out the full case study, but discussing it in brief, and then talking about literature that supports it. So you guys will see that coming out. If you're interested, then I can do that on the next review. My focus right now is really getting more information out about these products so that you guys can help people throughout the world in a more concise way because you're more educated. So that's our goal right now, and it's definitely mine as well. So again, this is something that is extremely important. Let's talk about dopamine and serotonin and why this is involved in something that helps with COVID-19, the pathology. What is going on here? So basically, it's the dysfunction and dysregulation of a neurotransmission that can cause confusion and agitation and disorders. It can also make viruses, just so you guys know, grow. And that's not really in this explanation, but I want you guys to know that if your serotonin and dopamine levels are down, then you really do not have the pathway to really fight certain things like viruses and bacteria. It's not working in the way it should. So viral infections cause these cytokine storms. And I don't know how much I've talked to you guys about that. It's something I talked about a lot when I worked at Pharmaceutical, and I want to discuss it with you all right now briefly. These cytokine storms really are inflammation storms. And if you look at it as a scientist, it looks like a full-on war or full-on severe storm or tornado in the body. That's what happens. I want you guys to know that. When a virus starts taking over inside your body, it is horrible. So you've got to suppress these storms and you've got to raise the immune system. And one of the things that helps do that are the ingredients that are in 0N, because it's supporting serotonin and dopamine, and those impact those cytokine storms. A lot of people don't understand that, but that's why people that suffer from depression and anxiety have more illnesses. It's not just because they, are not happy to be alive. It's really because of this imbalance in their system. We've got to spread this message. We've got to help people. We need to educate people so we can make people feel better and be better, because people deserve that in their life. And so this is something, again, that I've overlooked, and I want to apologize because I haven't talked enough about how 0N can help you guys from a really health and wellness perspective and prevention perspective, as well as supporting the body to get rid of the things that don't need to be in there. So this is something, again, that's extremely important. Another thing that happens with what we have in our arsenal, and that's what I say about everything, is the Relive Greens. I think you guys know this. This is so important to me because of the brain tumor that I had and the spinal tumor, and how important it was to really get this product out there. And I've worked on a lot of green formulas that have been very similar, but this one, I really went back to basics with the GMO testing. I really went back to making sure I actually also put a pre-probiotic into this ingredient so that it would help even more with the microbiome, understanding how important this is. This is a product I have to take. This is a product, if I don't, I get sick. So I'm just letting you guys know, for a female that's had so many health issues throughout my life that I've overcome, I've had 11 kidney stones. I think 4 that I had to spend like 4 or 5 days in the hospital, 7 that I had to go to the hospital. I have not had those in forever. Knock on wood. I do think a lot of it's because of the clean slate. I also think a lot of it is from the Relive Greens and how they really help my body. My body has got to cut down inflammation. I'm an O negative, so I need protein, but I need these types of grains. And when you look at even the type of agave inulin that's used in this, and the aloe vera and the barley glass and the different types of collagens with bacteria that are in this is an amazing product. It has everything from pomegranate seeds to spirulina to wheatgrass. It also has different things in small amounts like chlorella. And I had someone on a podcast ask me, aren't you worried about chlorella because it can have a backwards effect? Yes, if it's used the wrong way or in macro dosing. These are micro dosings of ingredients that really go into the body to support the body overall. And it's a powerhouse. It's there to support your immune system. And it's one of the things that's so important. If you look at the benefits of this, there's so many. But one of the things we always point to is the digestion and the bacteria in the body, and how that's really helping your GI, which helps your heart, that helps your brain. It boosts energy. And that's why if you guys drink Relive Greens, you feel more energy after you drink it. It's not just the 0N. This is something I either drink at breakfast or lunch every day. I do 3 teaspoons, just so you guys know. And when flu season comes into play, I sometimes do more. It promotes a healthy immune system. I've had so much cancer and so many issues. I have to support my immune system, and I have to cut off the signaling of any of the cancer in my body. And this is an important step for me, but it's also very important during flu season. And I'm going to start with spirulina, because spirulina is known to basically inhibit virus replication, as well as reduce virus-induced mortality. And if you could go to the next slide, Tiger, I'll talk a little bit more about it. Spirulina in this particular study, and it's interesting, I first got spirulina when I had the brain tumor. I had it shipped from Asia and started drinking these shakes morning, noon, and night. That's all I drank. I was very skinny, but I really got down to basics, and it helped save my life, by really understanding spirulina and some of these other ingredients. If you look at this talks about viral replication and how it reduces virus-induced mortality. This shows that they're as high as 5,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day for 14 successive days. Sorry. It's okay. I'll get on. I'm almost done. Sorry, I had a text. It also, if you have it during the early stages of an infection, it will help even more. That's why you guys need to be taking this every day. I wish we had a Trinity pack that had this included. I told Clayton, I told Ted, I told Patrick, I really need something where people are taking the Relive Greens because they need to take it. During flu season, there's a broad range of influenza strains. That means there's lots of mutations. There's lots of different strains, not just COVID, right? So spirulina is known to inhibit almost all of those strains. And that's why it's really important that this is something that you add to your daily regimen, along with the other ingredients that are in Relive Greens. I'm going to go a little bit faster, Patrick, because I'm late for a call, and I apologize, but I'm going to go on to natural barrier support. You guys heard me talk about this earlier. You've got to reduce the inflammation. Vitamin C, vitamin D3, vitamin C, and zinc are extremely important. Really, really important, not just for the cold and flu, but also for diseases and everything else. I put this in my tea. I put it in water with lemon. I do a lot of different things with it. I cannot take it on an empty stomach. That's me. I just want you guys to, I want to be honest with you guys. I have to eat with it. I know some people take it on an empty stomach. I can't. Sometimes I'll put it in yogurt, or if I have goat's milk or different things like that where I'll drink it. Sometimes I put it in my Relive Greens and Restore shakes. It just depends, but it really does help the integrity of the immune system. And what I mean by that is it helps hold it together so that it's stronger. There's different pathways in an immune system, and this kind of helps it be more cohesive. And it also helps the immune system adapt so the cells work in a more innate way, and so that it's stronger. It can help with oxidative damage, not just stress, but damage. So it can actually help protect and repair the body. And that's extremely important along with the rest of our products. It also boosts brain function. And that's why some of you guys have told me when you take natural barrier support, you're able to think more succinctly because it's working with the 0 in, and it is helping you guys think in a more positive way, as well as more cohesively and cognitively. And I think, again, that's something we don't talk about enough. We do know that vitamin D is very important. I get lots of comments on vitamin D because every country has a different dosing, right? Your body is able to get rid of vitamin D when it doesn't need it. I feel like vitamin D is extremely important when you look at really the risk of influenza and COVID. There's reports that show you should take up to 10,000 IUDs of vitamin D, followed by another 5,000. There's also reports which say you need 50. There's so much data out there. I can just tell you, when you have autoimmune disorders and diseases, your vitamin D levels go down. As you age, your vitamin D levels go down. Vitamin D is so important for everything from sex to performance to viruses to bacteria. It's a very important factor that we always overlook. And if you look at your Relive Greens and your immune defense support, it has vitamin K in it. So you're actually supporting your vitamin D with vitamin K, as well as other minerals that help it work even better. So hopefully you guys will add, especially during winter and the fall, the natural barrier support so that you guys are adding that to your regimen every day and taking it to protect your body. The next couple of slides talk about zinc and the common cold and how it's really helps with that. You guys know that even like our CDC and your governments came out with how important it was. It was the weirdest thing, though. They lowered the need for vitamin C, vitamin D3, and zinc. And so I'm just telling you the whole story. The story is that we know for a fact that when you take the right amounts of vitamin C, vitamin D3, and zinc, you're able to lower how long a cold or virus works. You're really able to help your whole system. So think about this, guys. If you're able to do that to the flu or to a cold, why wouldn't you be able to do that to an autoimmune disorder? You have the right thought process. Your whole body is a system. So as you're fighting something like the flu or a cold, you're also fighting things like Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, all those things. You need all of this to really make this whole system work and work at its best optimal level. And so I do think that the natural barrier support is really important. There's a couple more slides on vitamin C and how it basically helps with the respiratory infection. Let's go back to this. Again, it's important to me that you guys know that the one thing I worry about the most are your lungs and your heart and what's going on during this season. Vitamin C is something that really helps in that area, and that's why it's important that you're really doubling down on that during these seasons. The last one's immune defense shield that we're going to talk about. You guys, I have failed at talking about this enough. I take NAD in an IV formula, but I take it every day with the Immune Defense Shield. I ran out on this last trip, and I said to Clayton, I cannot run out of this again, because again, I'm trying to basically protect my DNA integrity and make sure my cells function right. This is the only way to protect from aging and disease. You got to protect all of it together, right? So this Immune Defense Shield is very important. It's something that we didn't have until last year when all this was happening, and it's something you guys need to remember to take. 2 in the morning and 2 at night. You can take actually more if you need to. Some people during the regular season just take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. I would recommend right now people taking 2 in the morning and 2 at night because of the benefits, and that's protecting the integrity of the cell and also helping gene maintenance and protein formation, which is extremely important. If you don't have protein in the body that's actually working effectively and your genes are not being maintained, you can't fight illnesses and you can't do anti-aging. So this is extremely important. It also helps prevent infections. So like when you have skin disorders or different things going on, remember this is happening on the inside and outside of your body. You've got to prevent infections on the inside and outside. So again, people are taking different amounts of the Immune Defense Shield. Some people are taking 1 in the morning and 1 at night. Some are taking 1 a day. Sometimes you're taking 2 in the morning and 2 at night. When I travel, I take 2 in the morning and 2 at night, but everyone has a different regime on that. When we do our dosing, just so everyone knows, we do our dosing based on a typical person, but there's not really a typical person. We all weigh something different. We all have different diseases. I am a cancer survivor. I also have Lyme's disease, so I have to really take care of my body, and that's why it's so important. It also reduces the risk of cognitive decline. I want to add that. So when you have these patients that have Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, ALS, remember this is a great product that really helps. And we do know that it can aid, the certain ingredients in it, like quercetin and everything else, can aid in the reversal of aging and age-related diseases. So I think there is a zinc therapy slide right here. I want to point to zinc, but really what I wanted to show with this slide was the different things that work synergetically together that are in Immune Defense Shield, in natural barrier support, and in all the products that are really basically serving to regulate your body and to put the defense up so that things cannot get inside. Studies have shown that people with zinc deficiency basically have more viral infections like herpes, sexually transmitted diseases, hepatitis, respiratory infections like SARS, HIV, etc. You do not want any of these things, right? You got to support the system. So zinc, along with the quercetin and the NAD, work synergetically together to really help with the natural scavenger cells and to really regulate things so that the immunity works in your body. And that's what I wanted to point out here, because I want you guys to know that. I want you to tell other people about it so they understand how important it is as well. And then I'm going to talk about quercetin, because this is something that is another antiviral property because of the properties that are in it. It's a product that really can help your body. So when you look at the Immune Defense Shield, it's not just the NAD or the vitamins or the minerals. It's also things like quercetin that are really helping with the antimicrobial, the antiviral, the anti-inflammation. I mean, you're getting these antioxidants that are really helping overall reducing inflammation and infection. And this mechanism is so important for the overall body to work. You've got to stop the replication of the negative cells and viruses and increase the replication of the cells that support you and the immune system that supports you. And that's really how I want you guys to think about it, because it's really important that you're supporting your bodies. You know, we have nothing if we don't educate others about our wins in life, our potential in life. We are here to really make a positive change. I hope these educational talks are here to help you guys with your customers and people so you can help their lives be better. But I want you to start with yourselves, because each of you on this phone call or Zoom call are so important. So every day, please remember to tell yourself how important you are, and please remember to share this information with others. I have not talked enough about immune defense shield and how it really helps the body and how it can really support the body in anti-aging and autoimmune disorders. When I talk about Zero In, I focus on performance, but I also should be talking about the immune system and how it helps support your body in this war against viruses and parasites and fungus and bacteria and autoimmune disorders. So I'm going to start speaking more and more about it. As we hit October and we bring in the protective barriers of the clothing that we're going to launch, there's only one reason to launch clothing, only one. And that is to help our community so they're protected in a better way. And you're going to see us step up to really show that. So I want to thank the Root community. Thank you for today's call. If you guys want me to do the next call on the different protocols, tell Patrick, and we'll make sure that is a focus for the next call. Thank you so much. I hope everyone has an amazing week.